This week's edition of Church Media Design TV is sponsored by TripleWideMedia.com, your source for multi-screen content. Welcome to another edition of Church Media Design TV, tips, tricks, and how-to for you, the Church Media Designer. I'm your host, Brad Zimmerman, and I am joined every single week by my favorite bobbleheaded friends. You got it right. We got Jamie and Adam from the Mythbusters. We got Dwight Schrute from The Office. We got Little Whitey, and of course, Jesus Christ, the Son of the Lord Most High. Well, on this week's edition, we're going to be talking about what to do when your MacBook gets water spilled all over it and you seemingly lose everything. This happened to me just a little while ago, as well as we're going to be talking about a crazy way to actually, as a result of that, we're going to be talking about how to sync up ProPresenter. Now, we're not going to use the built-in syncing tools inside ProPresenter. We're actually going to sync everything. We're going to sync all of the system preferences for free with an awesome tool that'll do a whole lot more than just ProPresenter, but that's what we're going to talk about today, as well as I have a ton of news for you this week, some great resources in the stockpile, and some free stuff for Easter. So if my favorite bobbleheaded friends are ready, let's get into it. Well, like I said at the top of the show, we have a ton of news for you, so let's hop right into it. The first piece of news comes from Vimeo.com. Vimeo finally launched an iPhone app. Now, I've been waiting for Vimeo to have native. They've made their videos mobile friendly if you have a Vimeo Plus account, but they've never had a Vimeo application that you can go view all the videos on Vimeo, and I thought this was interesting until I saw what they actually released, and it made a whole ton of sense. So check this out. This is from the official Vimeo blog. The official Vimeo iPhone app is here. They have a little walkthrough that you can check out, but this is some of the interesting stuff. So you can watch and manage, easily upload videos from your phone, but you can also go down and use their awesome video editor. This editor does a ton of different stuff. You'll see a little video here, and basically, you can do transitions between video clips, you can have titles, you can bring in soundtracks and audio, and you can do all of that and either upload it to Vimeo or you can export it, so you can actually use it on other sites and use it for other productions, which I think is really, really awesome. So screw iMovie. Why pay $5 for iMovie when you can download the Vimeo app and do some really good stuff? As long as you're shooting some decent footage, you'll be able to edit and do something cool on the go. So this is something definitely worth checking out. Vimeo set the bar pretty high. Right now they don't have search capability, but I know that's going to be a part of their next update. That's hopefully going to come out here soon. So that's the first one. The next one is Amazon is always amazing us with their awesome web services. Just last week, they launched their new Amazon Android App Store. So if you have an Android phone, they now have their own App Store, which is making a lot of people think maybe they're going to be launching some Android devices, because why have an App Store if you don't have a device for it? Because they're not really going to make, they'll make some money off of it, but anyway, so they launched that, and now this week they launched their new cloud drive. You can check it out here. So you have 5 gigs of free online storage, unlimited access from any computer, and it works on your Android phone. Again, this doesn't work on the iPhone right now. I won't be surprised if they update that in the future, but as of right now, I think they're really trying to hammer home and grab that Android clientele. Now, the cool thing is you get 5 gigs of free online storage, and they also have their Cloud Drive Player. Now, the Amazon Cloud Drive Player, as we can see here, is works on the Android phone as well as in the web. And when you buy music, it saves it to your cloud drive, and you can play it on the web anywhere. And this is something that everybody's been wanting Apple to do for a long time, but Amazon beat them to the punch, and I think it's a pretty cool service. The other interesting thing, though, is right now, if you buy a MP3 album from the Amazon store, which you can actually buy a Glee album of one song for 67 cents. You're going to get 20 gigs of storage for a year for free. So you'll see normally that's $20 a year. You're going to get that absolutely for free. And you can look at all the different tiers of how much storage this is. These songs, photo, and HD video things are really based on, I don't know what they're based on, but I know that I can get a lot more than 20 minutes of HD footage in there for less than 5 gigs. You know, we output a 40-minute show every single week. That's 720p HD, and it's, you know, 400 to 500 megs, so you could fit a lot more than just 20 minutes of HD video. So some interestingly cool stuff there. And then the last one is a brand new website that just recently launched from our friends over at Clark, and it's called Production Serve. And it's a really cool question and answer site for topics like video, lighting, audio, software, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So you can, you know, help answer questions. You can ask questions like, should you go HD or not with a switcher? How can we record our worship surfaces separately without recording the lyrics or motion graphics, and a ton of different stuff. So there's a bunch of great answers in here. So if you're looking for a way to get your questions answered, Production Serve might be a great site for you. So I want to encourage you guys to go over to the show notes. You can check out all the links to all these news articles at cmd.tv/128. Check them out. Well, let's reach into the stockpile and grab some great resources for you and your church. And the first one is a new product that'll get you a bunch of motion backgrounds for super cheap. I thought I would pass this along to you guys. And this is the new the packs from the playback drive. Now, we've talked about the playback drive, but this is a new price and new size. These come on 4 gigabyte USB flash drives, and almost $1,000 of brand new content. You're going to get 30 motion backgrounds in either standard definition, high definition, and triple wide. So all three of those, plus 40 still images in single screen and triple wide. And you can check out these videos here that kind of show what they have. They have 2 different types of packs. They have a light pack and a particle pack, and so some really great visuals there that you guys can get for super cheap. And if you pre-order right now, you can get them for 49 bucks. So it's a really great price. That's about the price of 10 backgrounds from someplace else. So a really good deal there. Now the next one is for those of you out there who really are motion designers, or you're learning design and you're like, I really need to learn code. I really need to learn how to code our website. I really need to understand how to do web design. Well, I got a place for you, and it's called the Code School, and basically it's your path to better code, and it's where you can learn code, learn different things. You can learn Rails, you can learn jQuery, you can learn HTML5 and CSS3. So there's a bunch of different stuff on here that you can check out, and some of them are free, some of them you have to pay for. So some different things there, but I just thought I'd pass along that resource for you if you're learning to learn some code along the way. And speaking of code, our last resource is for those of you who are using WordPress. This actually came out of a Smashing Magazine article from a while back, but this is the 2010 5 theme. Now, 2010 is the brand new WordPress 3.0 default theme, and it has a ton of great features in it. And for the most part, it's HTML5 standards compliant, but what they've done is taken it one step further and made sure all of it is HTML5 standards compliant. So bring HTML5 to WordPress, upgrade to HTML5. So you can see here that it's all done in HTML5, and you can download it totally for free, and they've gone through and redone all the markups so that it uses all of standard compliant HTML5 coding. So if you guys want to check that out, you can find all of these links in the show notes at cmd.tv/128. So check them out. Well, before we move on, let's say thank you to our sponsor of TripleWideMedia.com, your source for multi-screen content. And as you can see on their website, they have everything from motions to short films to countdowns, footage, still images. They have it all covered, and they got a ton of brand new media in here. They got some really cool scenic backgrounds as well as some great ambient ones. So if we check out this Embark one here, you're going to see awesome looping background here that would look great across multiple screens. So if you're doing maybe a 3-screen setup, or you're doing a seamless triple wide projection with 3 projectors, you can project that image all the way across there. And they also show on here a preview of what it looks like in single wide as well as what it looks like in double wide. And the coolest part about that is that when you buy a video from them, you not only get a triple wide version, but you get a double wide and a single wide version. So this is a really great way to set yourself up for the future. I call this future-proof media, because maybe today you're not doing triple wide media, but maybe in the future you're going to start doing triple wide projection, and you're going to have 3 screens, or you're going to do a special event like Easter and you want to have multi-screen content. Well, you can download the single wide today and go back 6 months or a year from now and say, hey, I want the triple version, and you can go download that triple wide version. Or you're doing 2 screens and you want to get the double wide version. So this really sets you up for success for the future. These motions are only about $12, which is a really great deal since you're getting all these different versions. So I want to encourage you guys to go check out TripleWideMedia.com. So what we're going to talk about today is how to actually go about, first we're going to go about backing up all of ProPresenter, not just our library, but we're going to go through and we're going to back up everything, including our playlists, our props layers, our templates, our media library, listing, everything, so that if there would come a point when we would lose it all, we would have it all saved. And then we're going to show how to actually use that to sync between multiple computers, and we're going to do it all for free as always. So the first tool that I tried to use to do this was called Dropbox, and many of you guys have heard about this. Dropbox is, you get 5 gigs of online storage for free, and it syncs to folders on your desktop, and it makes it seem like it's just a regular folder. Well, I ran into some problems, and so because Dropbox does not allow you to sync folders, not at least easily. There's some workarounds, but not easily sync folders outside of your Dropbox folder. And I wanted to sync folders all over my hard drive because we need to sync system preference folders. So I actually ended up using a Windows product called Windows Live Mesh. Now this is a free product from Windows. It works on Mac and PC, and you can sync any folder anywhere on your hard drive to another computer absolutely free, and there's actually not even any size restrictions. So on their website you can see here that this works on both Mac and PC, and you can check out the system requirements for it, but it's only available in English for the Mac. But you can sync between computers, so let's check this out. So if you have 2 or more computers with Live Mesh installed, you can sync up to 200 different folders, each up to 50 gigabytes in size, containing up to 100,000 files. And when you sync folders between one computer, it makes the changes on the other. As well as you can sync to their SkyDrive, which is putting this online in the cloud. So this is their version of what Dropbox has, or even what Amazon launched. Now, one post that I want to point out to you that I came across first, if you're looking to use Dropbox and just sync your library of songs but not your system preferences. So here's an article by a guy named David on how to, ProPresenter library sharing over the internet. And he goes through how to set up Dropbox and how to set up the sync settings in ProPresenter to sync that all together, and making it all work and all of that sort of thing. So some really cool stuff in there, but this doesn't, I went and checked this out, and the one thing that it doesn't cover is how do you make all of your settings go through, not just the library of songs. I know the library of songs is really important, but I want everything sync. So if I, make a playlist on one computer, when I log on to the other, that playlist is there. So enough about talking about it. Let's jump in and actually do it here. So what you can see here is this is the Windows Live Mesh program. After you've installed it and logged in, this is what you'll get. And what you can see is all of the other devices that you have this installed on. So I have this my old desktop computer that's sitting next to me, as well as my office computer, and then like our administrator's computer are all there. So any devices that your account is logged into will show up here, and it'll actually show if that computer is online or offline, and if there's any synced folders on it. So it's pretty cool. And all you have to do is sync a folder, and then it's going to pull up a window here to select which folder you want to sync. Now, one thing that I'm going to help you guys find and see where it is where are all of those preferences stored. So that's the first thing. We're going to do this outside of Live Mesh first. So we're just going to go to our hard drive, and in here you're going to see that your files are saved in a few different places. So I'm going to go to Brad, and I'm going to go to Documents, and you're going to see Pro 4. And inside Pro 4, you're going to see a listing of every single ProPresenter 4 document, because ProPresenter 4 is now document-based, not database-based. So here's all the different files that make it up, but those are just the library of stuff. We need to find where are all of our preferences saved. So we're going to go to our hard drive, and then we're going to click on Users, and we're going to click on whatever user you're using. So this is Brad in this case, and then we're going to click on the library for Brad. Then we're going to see a whole listing of things. We're going to go to Application Support, and then we're going to scroll down, and we should see in here Renewed Vision. And now inside Renewed Vision, we have ProPresenter 4, and inside ProPresenter 4, we have all of our different settings. So this is our audio playlist, this is our CCLI template, here's our masks, here's our media, here's our presentation playlist. So you can see this is a pretty big file. This is a text file that's almost a meg because there's so much stuff in it. Then we have our props layer, we have our stage display, we have all of our templates, so any templates that you've ever made, all of our thumbnails for all of our different media are stored in here. And then we have our thumb list playlist. So all of this different stuff, that's the other stuff that we want to sync. So we're going to first sync that up. So we're going to select Sync a Folder, and then we're going to go to Users, and then we're going to click on Our User. We're going to go to Library, Application Support, scroll down and find Renewed Vision, and then we're going to do Pro 4, and we're going to select that folder as the folder that we want to sync. That has everything else we want in it. So we're going to say Sync. When we do that, it's actually going to pull up this screen that says, where do we want to sync this to? Now, our gut reaction is to select the computer that we want to sync it to and hit OK. But we're actually not going to want to do that. We're actually going to want to wait and select that on the other computer, and I'm going to show you why in just a second. So we're going to just hit OK. So now this is done talking to the server, and we can see that this says this folder doesn't sync on any other device. And that's okay. We're actually going to fix that by going onto another machine and telling that where to sync. Now, for the purpose of this demonstration, I actually don't have two Macs here that I can do this with. So we're going to be working with a PC, and you'll see how you can sync this between both. But you'll get the idea of how you can edit on one and make it update on the other. So now on the PC here, you can see that I'm inside Windows Live Mesh, and you'll see that popped up here is this folder ProPresenter 4. Now we can click on Sync this folder. Now the reason that we did it in this order is because we now get to choose where we want this folder to sync. If we would have clicked that checkbox to just have it automatically sync, Windows Live Mesh would have decided where to sync that folder to. Now I have the power to sync it to where I want it to. So I'm going to click Sync this folder, and now I can choose any folder I want. So if I were on another Mac computer, I would go sync that right back to the exact same folder that was already there. Now, one tip in doing this, I would, on your secondary computer that you're wanting to, that's going to get all of the new settings, I would go in and I would take all of the stuff out of that ProPresenter 4 folder, put it someplace else, throw it on your desktop in some archive folder just in case something goes wrong. But clean that folder totally out so it can sync over fresh copies of everything, so you don't have to worry about which one it's going to choose and all of that kind of stuff. It'll make sure it's going to take over all of the stuff from your main current Pro 4 machine. Hopefully that makes sense. So we're just going to go in here, we're going to, right click, we're going to create a new folder, and we're going to call this ProPresenter for backup. Okay, so this is our Pro 4 backup folder, and we're going to say sync. So now it's going to go through and it's communicating with the server, and it's going to go through and start processing all that data. And what it is, it's peer-to-peer, one computer to another, going to start syncing and sharing all of that information from one machine to the other. So now we can see that it's done receiving all of those files, and all of that's based on your internet speed. So if your internet's fast on both ends of the spectrum, it's going to process all that stuff fast. And it's going through and processing the received files, and in just a moment we should see that, yep, your synced folders are up to date on this computer. So we can click on this and we can see where the location it's gone to, who it's shared with, and what it syncs on. The sharing is where you can actually share that with people without syncing it to their computer. That's where you have to type in their email address. And then we can actually select files, but it's just checking and it's totally up to date. We can open up this folder, and what we see here is exactly the same as what we saw on the Mac computer. So we have all of our all our poster frames for every single piece of media that we have, and all of our thumbnails for all of our different media. So all of that stuff is now in here. So now let's actually make sure everything is syncing up, and if we make changes on one, is it really making the changes on the other? So we're going to jump inside ProPresenter here, and as we can see, we have our playlist of all of our different stuff going on, and you can see how I have my archive of all of my different weeks and all that sort of thing. So now we're actually going to make some changes to our setup here. So I'm going to just quit ProPresenter on this machine, and you can see that everything's all saved up, and what we'll see happening is we're sending files, and it's syncing everything up for us. And now all of our stuff is up to date, and we can see that we're totally synced up. So now I've gone onto our fake Mac, our fake ProPresenter machine, and I've made some changes to ProPresenter, and I've put those in to have them sync up. And you can see right now it was scanning files, and now it says everything's up to date. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up ProPresenter, and if all of the magic works, we should get a fairly obvious message that shows that things have been changed. So now if we go inside ProPresenter here, you're going to see all of the same stuff, but look at this, Brad, you did it! And in our playlist there, we've made updates and added some playlists from another machine, and now they're totally synced up here. Now, we've done all of our syncing of our preferences, but now we actually need to go through and sync up all of our actual library files and all of that stuff. So now let's set up a few more things to sync, and then everything should be good to go. So I'm going to just show you real quickly where all of those things are. So inside Live Mesh, we're going to do select a folder, and we're going to go to Brad, and we're going to go to Documents, and we're going to go grab this Pro 4 folder that has all of our Pro 4 media. So we're going to say sync. And again, we're going to take this Pro 4 folder, and we're going to put it where we want it to be. So we're going to just not select anything. We're just going to hit OK. Now it's going to do some talking to the server, but while that's going on, let's go make sure we have all of our media. So we're going to go select a folder, and I have a folder here for Watermark Media, and this contains all of our images, all the stuff from Moto, all our series, and all of our videos like worship backgrounds and all of that stuff. So I'm going to select this Watermark Media folder, and I'm going to sync that as well. So now we have all of our song library, we have all of our other media, and we have all of our preferences, so we pretty much should have everything. So I'm just going to hit OK again. I'm not going to select anything because I want to choose where to sync those files. And now we're going to jump back over to our PC or our fake ProPresenter machine, and we're going to select where we want those things to sync up to. And you can see it's still up here. It says this folder doesn't sync to any other devices, and this one's still talking to the server. But when we flip back over to the PC, we'll get all that straightened out. So now back on the PC inside Live Mesh, you'll see that we have this ProPresenter 4 folder, and this is the one that contains all of our actual songs and library. So what I'm going to do is go inside here and I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call this Pro 4 Lib, and then I'm going to make another one, a new folder called Watermark Media. And then inside Live Mesh, we're going to sync this Pro 4 folder. Again, you're going to want to, if you're syncing from one Mac to another, you're not doing a backup, but you're doing, you want to make these sync perfectly, you're going to want to go find that folder that all of those songs are in. Again, I recommend that you take all of them out of there, put them in some sort of archival folder on your computer so that you don't have mix-ups, and then you select that as your sync folder. So I'm just going to hit sync here. And then we're going to do the same for syncing this Watermark Media folder. And we're going to go do the same thing. So we're going to go to Documents, and we're going to go put this into our Watermark Media, and we're going to hit Sync. Now all of our stuff should be up to date. However, if you're doing a backup from a Mac to a PC to have, a backup someplace else, just in case something goes wrong, you're going to run into a problem, and I'm going to show you that problem right now. It says right now there's problems syncing this folder, and we're going to view details. Now, what it says is that this song right here, Did You Feel ? Medley, has characters that aren't allowed. On the Mac, a question mark is allowed in a naming of a file. On a PC, it's not. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go in and we're going to have to say ignore to all of these problems. And now it will actually go through and sync all that stuff. If not, it wouldn't know what to do and it wouldn't sync those files. So that's something you have to watch out for in naming, is to not use some of those weird characters, and you'll be okay at the end of the day. So like I said before, this now you should be fully in sync. You can use this to sync up a whole ton of different stuff. But if you guys have any questions or comments on how to make this work, or if you're having problems or want to know more about this, please leave a comment in the show notes at cmd.tv/128. But you can also go there and find links to the downloads for the program. The one requirement that you have when downloading this program is that you have to have a Windows Live account. And speaking of that, I'm going to show you one last thing, so don't tune out just yet. We're going to go to Windows Live devices, and when I click on that, it's going to bring us to Windows Live, and we're just going to sign in here real quick. And when we sign in, what we'll see here is a lot of the same stuff that we saw, but we're going to get a few more preferences. So you can see that these actually are in the process of syncing right now. So at Live Updates, it shows all of the machines that we have, and we can actually go and personalize. So I'm going to personalize this CMD old PC. And I can go in, I can change the name of this as well as I can change the icon. So maybe I want to note the old one with this kind of tower icon, and I'm going to say this is my CMD Studio computer. And so we now have that there, so we can go back to our devices and we'll see that we have our studio computer now has a new icon with it. As well as we can actually go and view synced folders. So this shows me all of the synced folders, and I can click on this second Pro 4 folder and we can edit permissions for this folder. So this is where we would allow other people to share this folder. as well as we can go back and we can say stop syncing. So if we don't want this to sync anymore, or we want to sync this with SkyDrive, which you can do in other places, but this is a great way online to see all of your different devices as well as folders that are syncing. And if you ever need to stop something or manage it, so we can click on manage here and we can say stop using live mesh, and it will make sure that computer stops using that service. So that's the last tip in that. Again, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the show notes at cmd.tv/128. Get in sync, but don't listen to the band. They're old. Bye, bye, bye. Well, this week's inspiration is an awesome video from the Red Cross, and one thing that I wanted to show in this, a lot of times we show inspirational videos that have crazy Cinema 4D, 3D stuff, or it's got all this nuts crazy motion tracking, and it's all super crazy stuff, and it's like, Brad, I can't do that. It's a cool video and I liked watching it, but it's not really possible for me and my church. Well, this video, I really want you to watch it and see how the effects that they use are super simple. There's some things that are pretty, took a little bit of time, but overall, there's no 3D in it. It's straight up layers inside After Effects or you could even try pull off some of this stuff inside a regular editing program. The visuals are very, very simple. They didn't go do any crazy video shoots on green screens and in other countries and all these location shots. This is all shot in a house. And the biggest part of it is it's got a compelling story with really nice visuals. They're not out of control. They're really nice videos with some text that backs it up. But I think any of you could spend the time to go and shoot this exact same video, throw the text on there with these voiceovers, and make an awesome looking video. So sometimes it's more about coming up with a really great story and plot than it is about trying to use the latest and greatest and awesome visuals. So that's why this video is inspiring. It's not inspiring because it's the best video you've ever seen. It's inspiring because I know you can do it. So go check out this video about the Red Cross.
Water, the essence of life. We partake daily without ever considering its absence. It flows endlessly, and without it, we could not persist. Blood, its very nature is quite similar, and every 2 seconds, someone has dire need of it, but it can only be given. Every blood donation can save the lives of up to 3 people. You can save lives. You can give life.
Well, it's that time of year again. It's time for Easter. So I've already created our Easter graphic, and just like last year, I gave away some free Easter media for you. So if you don't have time, or you're looking for something either just as a handout or as your Easter series graphic, this one is for free for you. We'll have it in widescreen and in full screen, and you get the you actually get a title slide as well as a background slide, as well as it's all editable inside Photoshop. And I'm also including, this is actually the first time I've ever included this, a high-res version that's ready for print. We did some 4x6 postcards through gotprint.com, and so I'm including the high-res version of that. That's at like 300 DPI, 4x6. So if you want the high-res for your bulletin or whatever it may be, that will be included as well. So you can check that out on the website. I think it's cmd.tv/Easter2011. So I'm 99% sure that's the URL for it. So go check that out, download it, use it for Easter, and if you don't want to use it for Easter, you can get rid of the Easter text and use it for something else. So add that to your arsenal and go download it today. Well, thanks for tuning in to another edition of Church Media Design TV. Hopefully you learned a little something new about how to sync up ProPresenter across multiple machines. Again, if you have any questions or I confused you and you're like, Brad, you need to re-record that tutorial because it didn't make any sense to me, I'm always up for those kind of questions and comments, so make sure to leave them on the website at cmd.tv/128. You can leave all of those questions there, and the best part about leaving them there is that it helps out everyone. If you send me an email or something on Twitter, I respond to you and you only, but if I respond to you on the comments on the website, everyone will be able to see those and be able to get help because maybe they have the exact same question you did. So you can do that there, but if you want to find me someplace else, you can find me at twitter.com/CMDTV, facebook.com/CMDTV, and of course you can always email me, brad@ChurchMediaDesign.tv. One thing I want to encourage you guys to do, if you don't already, make sure you subscribe either to the iTunes podcast feeds. We do this in SD and in HD, so you can see, I record all of the screencasts at 720p, so you can see this all in perfect resolution. So you can get that for iTunes or Miro or there's podcast feeds for that stuff, as well as subscribe to the website feeds. We have new inspiration coming all the time. We have extra freebies coming up there and articles about interesting things, and that's just going to increase as we move forward here in the future. So I really want to encourage you guys to subscribe to those feeds so you don't miss out on anything, because tons of great stuff going on the website. So make sure you guys check all of that out. So as for me and my favorite bobbleheaded friends, we're saying see you later.